Good morning, everyone. Lori Marie here, mixed media artist in Vallejo, California. First off, let me say thank you to all of you subscribers. You have given me so much support on these videos, and I love making them. So keep your comments coming, keep your thumbs up coming. If you give me a thumbs down, please tell me why it's a thumbs down. I don't mind a thumbs down if I know why. Then I can correct whatever's wrong. So anyway, chilly morning here in Vallejo. Already walked Hudson, so that's a good thing. Today we are going to be playing with mixed media collage, many layers. So I will give you a supply list, and we'll go forward and play. I can't wait to play. It's been a little while since I've been in my studio, so thanks for joining me here. See you on the table. Okay, welcome back. I'm just going to put some underpants on this substrate. It's just a piece of wood, nothing fancy. And so what I do for the book pages is I take some book pages like this, old ones, so they're kind of yellowed. And then I remove the white edge so that we're dealing with text and not blank spaces. Okay? And then Mod Podge. I use matte. I always use matte. Tends to be less sticky than the glossy, but I don't care for the glossy so much. And I'm just going to put some Mod Podge down. And a piece of book page. I leave it hanging over the edge so that I can wrap it. If you have trouble with wrinkles, you can always use a squeegee to push that down with. And then just continue up your substrate with your brush. Mod Podge, leave it hanging over the edge. Squeegee it if you feel like you're getting wrinkles. And you get the idea. All right, so that's going to get us started. Go ahead and do this. And then I'm going to gather the other supplies that we'll need, okay? So I have the underpants on the other side. I just want to show you real quick about how it's just like wrapping a present. Just wrap that corner down like that. Fold it in. And around. Nothing fancy. A little bit of Mod Podge on the page. Bring it up. Mod Podge on the page, bring it up. Now mind you, the other side is not completely dry. So when I lift this up off my workspace, I will have some of the underpants stuck to the paper. And I'm okay with that. I call it texture, and I just move on. So I just don't have the patience to wait until everything's dry. There. All right, shall we see what we've created on the other side? See it stick? I'm okay with that. All right, a couple of pieces up, not bad. And we are ready for the next adventure. Let me get those supplies ready. Okay, let's talk about the supplies. You'll need your substrate covered with the underpants. We've done that. Mod Podge and a brush. And a paper towel. You'll need 3 piles from your focal points. Now, as you guys know, I carry focal points around with me all the time, and I add to them and I subtract from them. I have 3 different packets, one for underpants, one for cut out images, and one for torn out images. And I'm going to use the torn out images today. I just thought that would be kind of fun. They lay down a little flatter. So that's what I'm going to do today. So you need 3 piles of focal points. Some that are just more color than images. All right. That's the first layer. The second layer is you can go with some images, but not images that you would use for your main focal point. These are still going to be covered with a paint glaze. So something that'll have fun body to it, but you don't care if it doesn't stand out the most. And the third pile is your favorite favorite focal points. Now I haven't decided what I'm going to use yet, so I just pulled out some things that I was attracted to that I thought were kind of fun. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Okay, so we'll bring our substrate back in. Oh, I'm sorry, the rest of the supplies. 3 colors of cheap acrylic paint. All right, usually I use a varnish, but my varnish is all gone right now. So you can use your varnish, or I have an acrylic glazing liquid by Golden. This was a gift. This isn't something that I bought for myself. And your Stabilo for your final touches. All right. So I'm going to put some of the darkest color down on my substrate and underpants. And some glaze. This is a little thinner paint, so it's usually 1:1. There we go. And paintbrush. Smoosh that around, mix that up. And then I'm just going to paint that substrate. You want to see some of the underpants. I mean, after all, you put them on, right? Make sure and get the edges. That's always fun. And you see the underpants shining through there? Well done. All right, I'm going to let this dry, and then we will add the first layer of ephemera or focal points. This is pretty much dry. I do want to talk to you about how to tear out your images or your focal points, or in this case it's really just ephemera. I do not want a white edge today on this piece, so what I would do is I would tear the piece toward myself. And then it leaves the white edge behind, and this does not have the white edge. This is color all the way to the end. And this is beveled on the back, so that's why it glues down so smoothly. So when I put Mod Podge down here and really push it down, then it blends right onto the substrate, okay? So I'm going to grab some of my, we'll call it ephemera because it is going to be covered up. And I'm going to tear that piece toward me. I'm going to cover about half of it with this, this fun ephemera. All right. Just going to rip some of these in half so that they fit a little bit better. Always using this side without the white. Tear that down a little bit. I just do not want the white edge for this piece. Then I'm going to go through my pile of not my favorites, my number 3 pile, and I'm just going to glue some things down. And I'm going to use my Mod Podge to do that. You can always use your squeegee if you tend to get wrinkles. And that puts it down very smooth. All right, I'm going to glue them down. All right, so just a little recap here. We have the underpants of the book text. Then we have glaze or varnish, whichever one you have, and a cheap acrylic paint. I used this color, kind of a terracotta color. And then I put down some ephemera. So you heard me call it focal point and ephemera. The reason I was calling it focal points is because it comes out of my focal point stash, all right? But as this piece is built, it becomes the ephemera. So I just glued this down, the ephemera down with the Mod Podge, came in with my squeegee, made sure that everything was flat. It's nearly dry now. And now what I'm going to do is take my second color. So these are the three colors that I used. I'm going to come in with the green. Basically the same technique as I used for the terracotta, which was paint and glazing, which I would use varnish if I had it. This does dry clear, just like the varnish dries clear. And I just mush it around right on my substrate and paint it on. And it's translucent enough that you can see your work underneath. So while I have your attention, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this dry. And then I'm going to come in with my more favorite focal points, which will also become ephemera because they're going to be part of the background. So I'm just going to bring my more favorite ones in now and glue about the same amount. I'll go in and cover some of these spaces up, still leaving the underpants showing somewhat. And I'll just glue these down when this is dry, okay? Okay, so I have this second layer of the ephemera on. So just to do a recap, underpants, terracotta, ephemera, green, ephemera. Now I'm going to bring the yellow in, okay? We'll see how watery this is as to whether this even needs any glaze or not. We'll see. Oh yeah, it does. Definitely it does. And as usual, I'm just going to mix it together right on this substrate, right on our piece of artwork right now. And just paint over them. There we go. I've been monkeying around with my final focal point. I will let this dry. Then I will glue down the final focal point. I am looking at this piece and that leg there, which becomes a neck, and then, oops, and then this bird's nest for on top. So, something like that. We shall see. I'm going to dry this, glue down the focal point. I'm going to take a little sandpaper in here and just rough this up a little bit. Give it a little bit of texture. Distress it a little bit. That's better. A little more personality now. Alright, I'm going to glue my focal point on. Well, I have my fun focal point glued down. Hit it with the squeegee. Very fun. Now I'm going to take the very first color, the original color, which was the terracotta, and I'm just going to finger paint now. I'm going to come around that focal point. I'll go around the whole focal point and I'll go along the edges. You get the idea. Just work it in. Blending it as you go. And then of course there's one more step with our Stabilo. So let me blend all of this in. Very fun. Very, very fun. And we are nearly done, gang. Alright, well I've had some fun with the Stabilo. Now if you haven't used the Stabilo yet, it's a Stabilo 8046. Stabilo All. I'll have a link on that where you can get that from Amazon. Try to link everything so that if you need to do some shopping, it's pretty easy. So you just put some Stabilo on the edge, and then with a little moisture on your finger, then you do the blending. You can see how it gives it that smoky shadow. Okay. I took a white gel pen to the nest to bring the nest out a little bit, and just a little bit on the house on the top. And then I'm going in. This is a Craft Smart paint pen, nothing special, something I happen to have around. And I'm just going around the piece to bring it back forward with some paint dots. And then I'll put a couple of dots here, a couple of dots here. Three dots there. And a few dots there. And then I put the lines in with the black gel pen. So that's pretty fantastic. Pretty fantastic. All right. Go play. Go create. Go play. Go have fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.